It's Gigi Nori. We're back again. It's been a while. Last time you just had to endure me, Daniel, just talking at you. I'm surprised you're still listening to this. Instead, this week we've actually got other people contributing to it. More Gigi Noriers. We've got tonight, and we're doing a Dear Gary, as you probably surmised from the episode title. Dear Gary is our RPG advice column, where we take stuff usually from Reddit, sometimes from our patrons, anonymize it, and then present these situations for discussion among the group. Tonight we've got Daniel, that's me, Jim, hello.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Asa.
Hey.
And Tim.
The inevitable.
The inevitable. Our first question tonight is from Churlish in Chult. Dear Gary, how do I fix the dumpster fire that Tomb of Annihilation is? My players enjoy it, but it's a massive chore to run. So that's from Churlish.
Wait, their players are enjoying it?
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah. This is interesting. I don't know how to answer this if the players are enjoying it. That seems the complete opposite of my experience.
Yeah.
I doubt that they're actually enjoying it.
That was my thought.
Yeah, maybe you're not reading the room very well.
I'm just really into it.
Like, my players are enjoying it. Are they?
Yeah.
You know, when they're sitting quietly while you're rolling the dice for the random encounter day after day after day.
Wait, three per hex.
No, they're just drinking heavily and playing on their phones. They're not enjoying it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they actually are enjoying it, if you go to Chartopia, just Google it, like Utopia, but with chart at the front. Somebody, I don't know who it was, but they already digitized all the tables in the game. And I think there's a day-by-day table, so you just roll for each day, and it tells you all the encounters. So it's not really a chore in the sense of it's a lot of work to prep, I don't think. So if that's the problem, that's how you deal with it. People have already done this work for you. Just do that. But yeah, I think the bigger cue is that you need to go see someone like a medical professional who can diagnose you officially with your inability to catch social signals, because I think we all agree that
dying inside.
Yeah, no one enjoys that.
No, I mean, so a chore to mechanically run it. Yeah, I totally get that, but I don't think the thing you're mechanically running is very good either. I think it's just devoid of content. You come up and it's a dinosaur. You see a dinosaur in the woods, and then nothing happens later, and then you're like rolling some more dice, generating some more stuff, and then there's another conflict. But it's like it all seems very boring, I guess.
And I think the overall problem with this, a lot of adventure paths, is that the players already know or sense that there's an end game, and that they're essentially, until the point where they enter the end game, they're just grinding to get there. And that's not fun. Like, it's like you're wasting time until you get there, and no one wants to do that. So I think if I were running...
You only live once.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, seriously, you only have so many hours in your entire life, and you want to spend how many hours on this random dungeon crawl thing, this hex crawl, to grind it up to finally get to the good content? Ludicrous.
Yeah, I would just... Honestly, if they find... I would give them the locations of the places they want to go. Have them get there. Like, go ahead and go there. I mean, you can do the hex crawl on the way, but at least they know where they're going. And then when they get there, just level them up to appropriate level just so they can play the content. Like, don't make them grind all the way up with all this random side quest stuff that no one actually cares about. It's not...
I played it.
I don't know if you played it. Asa?
I don't think
I have. So you guys have spared me.
Yeah, well, just listen to the last episode that we did on it.
Yeah. It was really bad. It was, there was a town, and then there was like a dinosaur race, and then we just kind of wandered around aimlessly a little bit, and it was painful.
We discovered that
there's no fun in it.
We had the revelation, the world-shattering revelation, that it's Ankylosaurus, not Ankylosaurus.
That was the best part.
I remember this.
That was the best part.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Don't believe the
I think it's like a Mandela effect or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there any good content that you can get from it?
I mean, there's dungeons in there. If you need dungeons, you can probably get it. It's made as a remake of Tomb of Horrors, so probably just run Tomb of Horrors. I mean,
why don't you just extrapolate the good stuff and just make it your own, and then just say you're running Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can grab the stuff from it and put it in your own game, but when you feel that you must grind through the stuff to get to the end of this module, that's when it starts to feel like a chore. If you're just playing to play and there's no set goal, then you can at least invest the moment by moment play with some kind of significance, but you don't even have that option if you're just running the module straight.
But I would go back through and add a lot more flavor to the random encounters in this day-to-day kind of hex crawl thing. I think as is, it's super lame, and there's a lot of examples out there of better content.
Yeah, I agree with Jim. I would either make the random encounters more interesting or less interesting. Like, a middle ground is bad, but if you just narrate them, like if you just see 3 ankylosauruses, just say, on your way through, you see 3 ankylosauruses, they're nesting and snuffling around in the dirt, and then you hit camp. And then it's just flavor text, and that's fine. Just to give you some clue, you treat it as the random encounter tables as just like a flavor text generator.
Yeah.
Flavor text generator, yes.
So one or the other.
It felt like, because I just remember specifically, it felt like, oh, you'd be making all these rolls, and we had to stop while you made the rolls, and most of those things that came out of the rolls were just like pointless.
Yeah, if you're
like, wait, why did we spend all this time? We could have weaved it in better or just skipped it.
Go ahead.
Who needs to put in a new battery into their smoke detector? Because I keep hearing that chirping.
It's not me. I don't know. Maybe it's just you. Wait, what if it's literally just you?
Somebody be chirping.
Well, maybe it's just flavor sounds.
Oh no, it's totally me.
That's great.
The inspector.
Sorry, I was looking up how to pronounce Ankylosaurus.
Wait, I pronounce what?
Ankylosaurus. It's definitely Ankylosaurus.
Could you please disable your fire alarm now?
Yeah, give me a second.
All right, just mute yourself, Asa.
I'm looking at Merriam-Webster and it says Ankylosaurus.
Yeah.
And you mean Ankylosaurus?
Well, the difference, Asa, the disagreement is not on the pronunciation of the Y. The difference is it Ankylosaurus versus Ankylosaurus?
Oh no!
Yeah,
not
that's
the latter,
that's
right?
It. Yeah, well, we all grew up with Ankylosaurus.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's the right way.
And it's Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey,
Mandela died in the 90s.
Hey, Asa, mute yourself before you leave, will you? Thank you, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We did try a little bit of the tomb, right?
No.
Didn't we?
Nope.
I don't
There
think
was something
we
like
actually
that had there was a green devil mask thing that we
got to the entrance. I think we got to the entrance and then we stopped because we couldn't deal with it anymore.
Because if I recall correctly, it was harmless in this version. You could just crawl into it and it was like a tunnel. But that might have been something else. I don't know. We played a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Beats me. I think this topic is played out. Let's move to our next one. This one, buckle up. We got more narration here, which is actually perfect because that'll give Ace the time to turn off his fire to either burn up in a house fire or to turn off his detector.
You don't have to hit it with a hammer, Ace, so you could just unplug it.
We're watching him on his video feed.
It's great that he actually has his camera activated. I see him. He's going around looking like underneath things. I don't know what
does he keep his smoke alarm under his couch, or what's he doing?
Fish tank back there?
I think it's a TV.
On the right, in the right center, that's the TV.
Okay, and then there's a cat tower on the left side.
Yeah,
Really?
Sure.
This is the content that people want. I tell you what. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. This is from Yelling and Yoon Suin. Do you guys know what Yoon Suin is?
Nope.
Yeah, I was wondering how familiar you were with the rule set. I don't know if you had read it.
I've read it, but it's been
I've not.
It's been a couple years.
So that's a system, a setting, or
it's a campaign setting.
Okay.
Hey, Asa, we've moved on to the next question, which is Yelling and Yoon Suin. Yoon Suin is something that David McGrogan, sorry if I am wrong about that, but I think that's who it is, who has a blog called Monsters and Manuals. He wrote it. It's famous for slug people in a kind of Eastern, like Middle Eastern kind of setting. And it's meant to be a setting generator, a lot of which you generate at the table. So it's mostly a bunch of random tables. So a lot of people like it, and it's meant for sandbox play. And it's assumed to run with LOTFP or some kind of old school system. Here it is. Dear Gary, and this is long, so just buckle up. I'm going to get through it, okay? I'm running a sandbox Yunsuin game with the premise of city building. This means that the 3 main players are the leaders of their clans, and together build a city from the ground up. Members of their clans respectively do the dirty work of adventuring, dying, and getting loot. But occasionally I have guest players. They don't have their own clan, and sometimes they plead? I think that's supposed to be pledge. Allegiance to other clans just for fun, or so I thought. So last game I had 2 clan leaders, 3 guest players, one of which was a first-timer at RPGs. After some adventuring, one of the clan leaders asked all the other guests for a share of their loot as a tithe for city development, to which most declined. And one of those who declined was in the clan of the other player. And I thought it ended there, but next time we got together, me and the regular players, that clan leader said that he won't help newcomers anymore because they come, drain our resources, like potions, take up our loot, and never come back. So loot and XP is wasted, and don't even contribute to the city development. I replied that it's only logical that strange bedfellows get the same amount of loot if they risk their lives with you equally, independent of what they want to do with their share or whether they continue, yada yada yada. And all he wants to do is to give out help on a condition of repaying its cost. I want new players to be accepted and everyone to feel like a group. But money may be a point of discord, because that player and I can't force new players to play a tithe, so basically it boils down to my desire to bring new players to the game OOC, that means out of character, hurts his enjoyment IC, which means in character, because he invests in them in the game, which I think is absurd, but what's your take on this? How should I approach the situation correctly? Thank you, Reddit.
Wow.
Sounds like a maladjusted individual who's putting too much stock into this game. I mean, this is I play these games every other week with you guys for years now. I don't take it that seriously. Am I doing it wrong? I mean,
yeah, in one sense, it's a good problem to have that someone really cares about the game. But the problem is that they have no social skills.
Yeah, and they're not. Again, they're not reading the room. They're not reading the table. It's like your course of action as a player is going to break down all important, relationships with these other people, and it's going to make it not fun for everyone else. So you need to figure out how you can compromise there and make it work for everybody because it's a game.
Yeah, by excluding other people from the game, he's hurting himself by finding that or by making it the case that he won't enjoy it if new people come.
You done played yourself.
Yeah. So it sounds like his optimal play situation would be like playing with himself in a basement somewhere. You get the most XP, guaranteed. You can have so much XP. Okay, you can build as big a city as you want, but unfortunately, IRL, you need other people there. You need other players. You need people to play with. Otherwise, it's not really much of a game, is it?
Other people do complicate the situation. That's for sure. Your ideal.
Take me for example.
Yeah, for real. All right,
and
so
I'm sure that player helped out and did like some work here. Like he was more successful for that player's being there, and something he may have failed or not gotten any treasure at all if the player hadn't been there. So
yeah.
That's
main
society, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we really do live in a society. Bottom text.
And you don't know if, this guy may be a seasoned. Like, he may completely turn somebody off to RPGs or tabletop role-playing games for,
it's true.
his interaction.
Yeah, the main problem.
Like, welcome to the world, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the main problem is obviously social here. People not understanding how to deal with other human beings, as in talk things out and try to imagine oneself in another person's shoes and then discuss things and come to a reasonable conclusion. But for this problem specifically, there are some obvious steps that one could take. One is that new players come in with an already established household, so they're not leeching off resources of someone else's household, since they're building cities and that kind of thing. And the other option is just to have someone come in with their own, even if it's a new player, come in with their own set of resources that they can use, like potions is what he mentioned. So new players get a pack of potions that they can use, and it doesn't come from anybody in particular. You can justify this as maybe like an insurance policy that the houses have all taken out for dealing with new recruits, or it doesn't matter really. Just however you need to smooth things over socially, whether it's game, fiction, or just play procedures at the table, just come up with something and make it work. You know what I'm saying?
In that player's defense, like, if he is spending a lot of time dedicated to this game and, like, they've been playing it for a while, it does suck if a new player comes in, drains some of the resources that they could have had, in this time that he's dedicated to playing the game.
Yeah, so I feel like he specifically did say that this game is about city building, and I think the most appropriate thing to actually do, playing devil's advocate, would be like GM side rules, just like Daniel said. So go ahead and allocate people, like new players, to a clan, and then they'll just contribute their funds to the clan. That's it. I think it makes sense.
Truth.
All right.
Look at that.
Solved. Our next question is from Blabbing in the Blogosphere. Dear Gary, do people ever actually run dungeons posted on D&D blogs? Am I wasting my time when I write them up and post? Anecdotally, it seems like the kind of people who read blogs are the most likely to make their own dungeons. I don't know how much you guys read D&D blogs. I read them all the time. And I can say, yeah. So Tim, you don't. I'm pretty sure Asa doesn't.
Yeah, so I only follow a few. I am definitely not as well read.
But I know that people do run blogs, run dungeons that are posted on blogs. So I've run several on the podcast, actually. So the Tomb of the Serpent King, which is what we did in Alabama, that starter dungeon, that was from Skirple's blog, which is Coins and Scrolls. And at the time that I ran it, I don't think it had been published anywhere other than his blog. So it was just a blog post at that point. And I've taken several dungeons from all kinds of blogs and run them either on the podcast or in campaigns that we played but just weren't recorded. So I think the answer to this is yeah, put stuff on your blog. And corollarily, is that a word? I don't know. But
Correlatively?
maybe.
So, and for me, I know it's definitely served as inspiration. Like it reading content that people put up on blogs, it tickles your brain and makes you look at things kind of a different way. And I think it makes you like a better gamer to kind of consider how things can be different. Options.
And I've actually got 2 posts downloaded right now that I'm about to look at after we get off this call. And maybe I'll put them in my game or adapt them to something in my game. So who can say?
So my question is, could you be wasting time? I guess it depends like how much time you're spending. I don't really know. I know you're enjoying that time.
Is the content that you're creating good?
No, it's never good. It's never good enough. But no, that Jim is right that if you're putting it up for other people to use, I wouldn't count on that unless you have a big audience. That I think you should just prepare in such a way that it's easy for you to put it up. And then if someone uses it, all for the better. But it's not going to put you out.
If you enjoy making it, then keep doing it. I mean, and then when somebody uses it, it'll make it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put like a highly polished product up on your blog for free that you spent, 20 hours on or something like that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea. But.
All right.
You do you, bae.
Grinning in Greece writes in and says, Dear Gary, planning an ancient Greece-inspired campaign. Nice, I'm reading the Iliad myself right now, almost through it. And the players... did you really?
Wait,
yes,
that's rereading the Iliad, right?
Oh, I'm rereading it, yes. Asa, was this your first time?
Read it in the 3rd grade.
Really? The 3rd grade?
The 3rd grade? That's...
Yeah, so basically it's your real first time.
Yeah.
It don't count.
And honestly, this time I'm going through it, I'm thinking, I don't know, Homer. I think you probably could have used an editor on this one, buddy.
I got notes. I got some notes.
And my players all want to play creatures that would probably get killed in the first town they go to. Now they're a little I know. Now they're a little confused why I'm suggesting to not play a centaur because of other logistical issues XD. And so I have some thoughts about this. One, Ancient Greece campaign. Great. Love it. You can also use, what's that one? I don't remember it. I think it's a Jaquays campaign, if that's how you say the name. That is set, has an ancient...
It's pronounced Jamiroquai.
Yeah, thank you. There's some modules that are already Ancient Greece inspired. Also, Ancient Greece is awesome. You get to use swords and sandals. It's perfect. However, I think this is a sign of the times. I think that everyone is like, oh, Ancient Greece, awesome. I can be Achilles. I can be Leonidas. But no, instead they're saying, I want to be a furry. I want to be a furry with horns. That's the situation. We really do live in a society. That's the takeaway.
I want to have 4 legs. I want to be a centaur.
Well, what you need to realize is that the future is made of virtual insanity now.
Yes.
It always seems to be governed by this love we have for useless and twisting our new technology.
Are you actually reading the lyrics?
Yeah. So.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't see what the problem here is. I mean, why don't you just say, like, you can't do that because people are going to freak out. You're a monster. It
Yeah,
don't work like that.
I think you just need to say, don't
Are you
be
just leading the question, Tim? What?
don't be a centaur. Just
can't
say humans.
Look,
Or on the flip side, maybe you should give the people what they want.
no centaurs, only dissentaurs. Be contrarian half-man horses.
No.
Be reverse centaurs. Only those.
Say, Aces, stop it.
Stop it.
I have an upper horse body.
Yeah.
Leg.
And human legs.
And you just run really slow and you can't talk. And you have books for hands.
But God, you love apples.
Oh, it's a nightmare. You can't even do your pants. Like you can't wear pants because you have hooks for hands.
You meant that kind of centaur. I thought you meant the human bottom half centaur.
Lol.
Yeah, just say play humans. Like, tell them to read the Iliad or the Odyssey and do that. There you go. Problem solved.
But I also, to be contrarian here, if the players super duper want to play these things, like you could put a campaign together that fits that. But like, if it's this kind of situation where he won't have any players, unless it's a more mythological campaign, I think he has to bend. I think he has to do it or do something different.
Yeah, you can just adjust social mores so that they accept the townsfolk or whatever, accept that mythological creatures are going to be in the tavern. Or just say, you know what, just don't go in the tavern, furries. Just stay outside and then go adventuring with the rest of the humans.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a magic given by a god that makes you look human or something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
For a period of time. That happens all the time. That stuff is easy.
Yeah, you could say, oh, my father was a minotaur, and so I can change my appearance back and forth. It doesn't matter. Everything's fine.
I think it takes away, like, if you're trying to craft this Grecian, like, ancient mythology, like where like these creatures are few and far between, and they're supposed to be special. Like if everybody can be a centaur or a minotaur, like it kind of takes away the specialness of the creatures that you place in specific locations.
I mean, you could be the centaur though. The centaur.
Yeah, that's always better.
Centaur.
But I don't know. So I think it sounds fun. I think a god could literally do it, and
yeah,
I wouldn't spend that much.
In ancient Greece, a wizard didn't do it, but a god literally did it.
A god literally did it, and it's fine.
It's fine.
We do stuff all the time. Come on.
Zeus is always getting up to business. Okay, our last question tonight from Boolin in a box. Dear Gary, okay, so I have a problem with the GM. I hope it's appropriate to post here. Don't worry, Boolin. It's totally appropriate to post here. GG No Re is a safe space. Our GM has a pretty censored poopy way of dealing with PCs. 2 prime examples. I was changing my character due to him it's actually not loosing, it's losing. Losing.
No, it's losing.
He loosed his character sheet.
I don't know.
And it took literally 2 hours of my character sitting in a trap that was impossible to escape from. Thank you, Reddit. This is great. This is great content. The only excuse for it was that he prepared it that way for my character to die. ... Well, in consequence, it took 2 freaking hours. We don't talk that way on our Christian Minecraft server. 2 freaking hours for my new character to be introduced. Basically, I was sitting for 2 hours doing nothing. Just today, we were fighting with a powerful spellcaster, and the spellcaster used on us Force Cage. This person must not have English for a first language. Used on us Force Cage. Maybe he's from ancient Greece. Well, okay, that's reasonable, except he made it to be 20 by 20 feet, and as the spell reads, it should be bars. Invisible, but bars. What? Okay.
They could also be 14.
Not walls.
Okay. So technically, parenthesis, okay, it was metagaming because me and my friend knew the spell and how it should behave, but we used our turns to check if walls are made of something particular, in parenthesis. Yet, our GM said it was homebrew spell, so it's a box, and we can't even try to shoot between the bars. Basically, we were out of the fight, and in consequence, out of the game for approximately an hour. Is it me being salty, or it's in fact poopy way to play? And if I'm right, should we consider changing the GM? He's too stubborn to change his choices in the moment, and for the next campaigns.
So, 1, it is called Force Cage, not Force Box. 2, like, what? I had a point and I forgot it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go on mute now.
Thank you.
It's not just me this time.
So I want to hear. So whose side are you on, GM or player?
I'm on the player.
Okay.
Like you don't do something to where you force players to be able to be irrelevant and not be able to do anything for an hour. Like you gotta keep them engaged.
Asa?
You're muted, Asa, but
Yeah, I know.
okay.
GM or player?
Oh, what side am I on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like both of these people suck.
Or is it a false dichotomy?
Yeah, I think this person is way too. It sounds like a callback to like the first question
Yeah.
because like it sounds like they're way too invested in this, and it sounds like the GM might be a little bit of a, I don't know, phallus.
There we go. That was a good censor.
Yeah, it's good editing, bro.
Yeah, good live editing. Yeah,
D, whose side are you on here?
I'm on team player here. Listen, to deal with these situations where you have to, in the first instance, replace a character, I literally have in-game justifications for that, like in-fiction justifications for immediately putting in a new character for that player to play. Now, you may not need to go that far, but at least you need to have some table procedures that lets this player, who may have driven like possibly an hour to play with you, do something. I mean, sometimes it can be fun just to watch the game, but that's not really why you signed up to come out here, right, to play this game. So there needs to be a henchman. Maybe he can play his own ghost. There's lots of variants where if it doesn't make sense fictionally for you to engage with the game through your character, you can at least engage in some way. So there's lots of things out there that you can do, and to be insistent on not doing that speaks to some kind of problem with the GM that you have to talk out, and if the GM is not receptive to adjusting on that front, maybe you do need to find another GM.
Yeah, so what do you think about a trap that is impossible to escape that his character was planned to die in?
That seems silly. Like, why would the GM plan to kill a player without there being any chance to?
I think the question is saying that he died. No, he lost his character sheet, didn't lose his character, and then in order to introduce the character, his new character, he planned for him to be in a trap that was impossible to escape from, so then he could spring him out at the right time. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of problems with that anyway. If you just lose your character sheet, just recreate your character, right? And then improvise until
like your
it's
character
done.
doesn't need to die because you lost your sheet.
No,
Yeah.
that's pretty ludicrous.
Like that seems like an unnecessary connection between the reality and fiction there.
I generally
But
don't even
it-
have a character sheet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like he's railroading the characters or the PCs quite a bit. That's kind of my read on this.
Yeah, and the player wasn't, I guess, on the same page of what he had planned to do that, to do the fictional, I guess,
Yeah.
stuff that he needed to move ahead, I guess, to get his new character introduced. So there's some miscommunication there, maybe, I guess you could say.
And the other thing, like the force cage issue, where he thinks it's force cage, which means you can shoot through the bars, but the GM is saying you can't shoot through the bars. If it's actually the spell force cage, then if you're wrong about a spell description, you should correct your mistakes and go with the players.
Yeah.
And not just... But we don't know, like, maybe the GM actually did create a homebrew spell, and he was saying it's like force cage. So we don't really know there, but if the player's description is correct, the GM is committing another foul here in being an intractable and just jerk. And I don't know.
I mean, Yeah, it really goes to
sounds
the
like
heart
you're-
of why we play this. Like why are you sitting at the table with these other people rolling dice? Like, GM, like what exactly are you trying to do here?
Like, are you trying to facilitate this game of, where the players can make their own choices and do their own things and just see what happens, based on how the rules work, or are you trying to force them into your railroad narrative idea of, it's all about you and what you want to happen?
Like,
It's
as far
like
as I know, all traps you can escape from. I mean, it is possible to in some way, technically, at least like in the rules as written. And it's the same thing for like a force field thingy that lasts for an hour. It is force cage. There's not, I mean, to my knowledge, like a force field spell that just does that.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I
So-
think the rules are irrelevant. Like I think it's a breakdown between like either the GM and the player possibly not respecting each other's time, or like their value as a player, like just completely disregarding their character.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, are we here to enjoy what we're doing?
No, we're just here to
That's
follow
the thing.
procedures.
There's a mismatch on what enjoyment means exactly.
The chief
I feel
end
like
of
I'm
man is the glory of Wizards of the Coast. We're
I feel like I'm giving relationship advice here or something. I don't know.
and it's
I
we're,
think
we're
it's
going to be
about
giving
other parts of life.
we're going to be giving more relationship advice next time, because we're going to do this D&D help with the toxic player, and it's about playing a game with your girlfriend and coworkers and friends. It's going to be great. So I think we covered this again today, that we have common themes that are emerging from Dear Gary, which I think the perceptive listener would have anticipated, which is be normal human beings, talk to your players, talk to each other, be nice, and don't be a jerk. That resolves most things.
Have a goal in mind. Like, why are you doing this? And are your actions actually serving that goal?
Exactly. Well, do we have any parting thoughts? Okay. Well then,
I could think all night, but I think we need to wrap it up.
I agree. In that case, GG no re. Oh wait, listener.
Wait.
Okay, this is like
Ooh,
this is our own Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, you waited till after the credits. Here's Captain America's shield. Oh, you thought he was dead? It's just buried under
Fury
some
comes
rubble.
in.
You thought the chirping was over.
Nope. Actually, I
Here
don't
we
know
go.
if any of that happened in a
let's
movie.
wait for it.
Wait,
So
wait.
the next time we play, it will be for our Halloween session. It'll be either Rattled, like we did last year, which is our skeleton you play as monsters game, or it'll be our Supers game, but in a Halloween theme, or it'll be something entirely different, of which even we are ignorant at this moment. You, dear listener, will just have to sit on the edge of your seat, put on some spooky tunes, and get ready to listen. GG Nuri.